Hi, I'm Rachel, and this is my final Friday reads of 2017. I could roll my eyes at getting nostalgic about all of this, but in truth, for most of the months of 2017, I've done at least a couple of Friday reads or am reading sort of update videos, so I really do enjoy these. It's nice to do a little bit of a catch-up on where I am in my reading, and as well as see where everyone else is. So I will continue to do these in 2018. So here's where I am since my last Friday reads. I did read the two Minerva Rising novellas that I held up, and I did a quick recap of both of them in a video that I will link down below. Quickly, I liked one and didn't like the other so much, but I was glad to give some extra press to Minerva Rising. I've also started Questioning Return by Beth Kissileff, and I'm really enjoying this. I do think part of it is a bit subjective on my part that this novel takes place, well, in the 90s. It's about a young Jewish academic. She's trying to connect, partially for her research and I think partially for her own interest, with the Baalei Teshuva American community in Israel, the American Jews who have become religious and go to Israel for more religious education, as it were. And it's pretty dense, and I think some of the writing is a little plodding. Sometimes she resorts to her character having these... Sometimes she resorts to having her protagonist display her inner thoughts, and I think that's a little over the top, a little too much, you know, telling, not showing, as it were. But it's complicated, and it's about a lot of issues that really intrigue me about religion and culture and identity and heritage. So I'm really enjoying it. I wish I could go faster with it, but alas, you know, real life and excuses. Anyway, speaking of small presses, this was actually also published by a small press, the Mandel Villar Press, and let me read a little bit about it because I'm kind of shocked in a way that they published this book, but indeed on the back they have it under, you know, Jewish American fiction and travel fiction. But this is from the publisher's webpage, which I will link down below. It is Mandel Villar Press, and it is the non-profit publishing arm of Americas for Conservation plus the Arts. So it's part of another organization. It says that it's dedicated to connecting the literature of the Americas. And we unite the works of the best writers of Central and South America with the leading ethnic and minority writers of North America. And then MVP publishes the best books and translations on the environment, conservation, culture, history, memoir, science fiction, science and fiction, not science fiction, and politics. It says the books reflect themes embedded in the mission of AFC plus A, I get the acronym: environmental awareness and justice, migrations, adaptation, integration, and intergenerational and cross-cultural dialogue. But it seems like they're particularly interested in the environment and also the Americas, like Latin America, which this book definitely isn't. I mean, I guess it falls under, you know, ethnic minorities in America and in some sort of like intercultural dialogue. I guess it fits that mandate, but it's not what I would have thought they would publish given that description, but I'm glad they did. And I hope they're glad of it too. So next on my list of things I want to read is Total Cat Mojo by Jackson Galaxy. I held up this book a lot in November when I went to a reading at the new Politics and Prose location in DC, where Jackson Galaxy was speaking and signing, and this is his new book on cat behavior, and I particularly was interested because I lost my cat Leia in October, and I'm in the process of thinking of adopting again, but I just think I needed something to transition, and I thought that a book from a cat expert might help in that arena, so it is on my list next, particularly because I really do want to adopt relatively soon. And finally, this is the last book from my autumn readathon list, which I made back in October. And the autumn readathon was like a week-long readathon started by Mercedes at Mercy's Bookish Musings, and I decided to extend it to all of autumn, but even that deadline has passed. It is no longer autumn, but this is the last book that I had left on that reading list, and it is The Beast is an Animal by Peternelle van Arsdale. It is a dark, sort of fairy tale inspired story, I believe, about a young girl who lives in the woods, and there's beasts and, you know, scariness. It's, I think, in terms of the autumn, it was sort of a Halloween sort of pick, I guess. We were supposed to read something kind of spooky. And I'm hoping to get to this in the Jackson Galaxy book before the new year. I don't really think it's possible. I do not think that I read quickly enough for that, and I will have to just contend with the fact that I'll probably finish both of these books in 2018, and that'll be okay. But we'll see how it goes. I do have a 3-day weekend coming up for the holidays, so hopefully I could at least put some pedal to the metal with these 3 books. So that about covers it for me. How are you all doing with your reading goals? I think I ask that pretty much every video, but in terms of what we want to finish before the new year, time is really ticking against us. I find it interesting how many people, I guess, have posted their favorite lists of the year already. I assume it's just sort of the presumption that your favorites aren't going to change even if you finish another book in December, or maybe you're through and you don't want to punish yourself and like race toward the finish line like I am. But I will have my own favorites video and anticipated reads video out early next year. In the meantime, I hope you're having a great final week of 2017. It is really crazy cold here in the DC, Maryland area. It's dropped down to like 15 to 20 degrees. I'm wearing a sweater and a coat to go outside, and whine, whine, whine. I wish I could stay inside and read, but alas, I do have to work a little bit more this week. But I'm saying this on Friday, like, you know, boo-hoo. So anyway, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.